Going now to Asia, the Myanmar crisis dominated the first day of a gathering of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations regional bloc in Phnom Penh. Leaders from ASEAN decided on Friday that the bloc should ensure there were measurable indicators and a specific timeline for implementing a peace plan agreed with Myanmar's junta after little progress. And the bloc's foreign ministers had agreed to engage Myanmar opposition groups. A plan slammed by the Myanmar junta. Crystal Ann Ballesteros reports from Phnom Penh.
Southeast Asian leaders agreed Friday to engage Myanmar opposition groups as they seek ways to quell the country's escalating bloodshed, which has seen thousands killed in clashes since last year's coup. ASEAN agreed upon a 5-point consensus peace plan with Myanmar in April last year, but the junta has so far ignored it, and the bloc has struggled for months to come up with ways to enforce it. In a 15-point statement trashed out over 2 days of difficult talks among foreign ministers, the bloc agreed to engage all stakeholders soon. Engagement would be done in a flexible and informal manner, primarily undertaken by the special envoy of the ASEAN chair on Myanmar. The leaders' statement said, "This will likely involve meeting representatives of Myanmar's National Unity Government, a self-declared parallel body dominated by former lawmakers from Suu Kyi's party."
The ASEAN leaders reaffirmed that Myanmar remains an integral part of ASEAN. Member pa rin ng ASEAN ang Myanmar. And then concerning the representation of Myanmar in ASEAN meetings, it maintains that non-political representation of Myanmar to the ASEAN summits and the ASEAN foreign ministers will continue, but they task ASEAN again through its ASEAN Coordinating Council to further review Myanmar's representation at ASEAN meetings if the situation so requires.
The junta condemned its exclusion from the summit as one-sided and malicious and rejected moves to engage with opposition groups. Earlier this month, Singapore's Foreign Minister Vivian Balakrishnan warned that the Myanmar military had a very high tolerance for pain, very high tolerance for isolation, and the crisis could take decades to resolve. Addressing ASEAN leaders on Friday, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres condemned escalating levels of violence in Myanmar.
Excellencies, the political, security, human rights and humanitarian situation in Myanmar is sliding even deeper into catastrophe. I condemn the escalating levels of violence, the disproportionate use of force, and the appalling human rights situation in Myanmar. Indiscriminate attacks on civilians may constitute war crimes under international law.
Nobody is happy with what's happening in Myanmar. And obviously, as I said, it is absolutely essential that the situation is reversed.
ASEAN has blocked Myanmar junta chief Min Aung Hlaing from attending the gathering in Phnom Penh, which Chinese Premier Li Keqiang is also attending. China, the bloc's biggest trading partner, has historically had good ties with the Myanmar junta, though it has voiced some unease at the ongoing chaos in the country. Western powers have heaped sanctions on the junta, and the United States has urged ASEAN to take a forceful stance to squeeze the junta to reduce violence, which escalated in recent weeks with deadly military airstrikes on civilian targets, including a school and concert.
Reporting from Phnom Penh, Cambodia, I am Crystal Ann Ballesteros, and we live in extraordinary times.